Hey everybody, Chief Meteorologist Brad Panovich here. We're talking about our flurry chance for Monday and possibly Tuesday, but let me emphasize this. This will not be a big impact event. This will not shut schools down. There's no need to go to the grocery store. This is all about getting just some flurries. It's normal. It'll be okay. It doesn't have an impact on the roads or anything like that. So don't freak out over this. It's just the fact that we actually could see a few snow flurries. So what's heading our way? Well, pretty easy to see what's going on here. Here's our Arctic front, and here's our disturbance in the cold air. The problem is it isn't moving due east. It's going to do one of these. If we wanted a good chance of snow, we would have loved to see this just continue to push off to the east, but that's not the case. That's not what's heading our way. In fact, all the winter storm warnings and watches are off to the west. You see the winter storm warning in pink. That includes all of Arkansas, all of Tennessee, northern Mississippi, Alabama, even winter weather advisories down to the Gulf Coast, close to New Orleans. But for us, because of the track of this low, it's basically going to do one of these. It's going to move from here like this instead of moving like this, which would have been a much better setup for snow for us. So let's get into the details of this with a future cast. All right, here we are, future cast. Here's our little batch of snow back here over Oklahoma. And yeah, it's probably all snow here. I don't know why the model's showing that rain because it's single digits and below zero. So that is snow. That's going to be pushing to the east. And it's really about tracking the moisture. So you see the moisture coming east. That's all snow and some ice on the southern side. You see it as we go into tonight. It should be snowing in areas like Memphis, Nashville, Huntsville, even Knoxville eventually. You see the moisture pushing east. We go into the overnight hours. Early tomorrow morning, 3 o'clock in the morning. It might fall while you're sleeping, by the way. So that might be the one thing that, it might be a bummer for some of us. But there's going to be some moisture moving in to the Carolinas sometime overnight into the early morning hours. And I think even though this is showing as rain here, there's probably going to be snow mixed in, certainly snow here. And that will last into the overnight hours into early on Monday morning. Now we go into Monday afternoon, there's a little bit of lull, but then the moisture try to re-intensifies around midday on Monday. And again, notice this is not a whole bunch. It's mainly the mountains and foothills where you're going to see snow. But as we go through the day tomorrow, there's enough pieces of moisture I see breaking off and trying to push east. Again, any other situation, if it's rain, you're like, it's just drizzle or mist. In this case, it could be flurries, okay? That's what that could be as it pushes to the east. And as we go through tomorrow evening, another surge of moisture comes in Monday night into Tuesday. And here's where the Tuesday chance comes. This early Tuesday morning, you can see another surge of moisture. And again, it's showing rain on the model, but it's certainly in the profiles, looks like it could be a little bit of snow mixed in there. So if we go back, I'm going to show you we'll show you this in a minute, but I'll show you the overall blend of models, what they're showing. We'll go through basically next Wednesday. Again, in Charlotte, it's not showing measurable, but maybe trace. But from Hickory to Greensboro, yeah, we're getting some half an inch, quarter inch. And what I showed you briefly here is kind of all the plumes I like to show you. So you look for Charlotte, the amount of snow on Monday, Tuesday is barely to 1/10 of an inch. So it could be measurable, but it looks like a trace. And then there's another surge of moisture late this week. We talk about the Friday system where there's at least the potential for another flurry. But in both cases, you're not looking at significant snow at all. You're looking at basically flurry. So this is a flurry setup through and through. That's all it is. Again, like I mentioned earlier, not a huge deal, but it's our first chance of flurries in several years. We had a couple close calls last year. We just need to get a trace. Measurable would be great, but just getting a trace would put an end to our snow drought that is now 715 days.